Hello, educators, innovators. How are you? Today, Avishkar is back with another interesting webinar. But first, I'm really excited to know who all are here. So please post your names in the comment section.
Mm, yeah, Tarun, we are getting responses. We have Vicky Yadav, Advait Goyal, Shakti Singh, Ankit Birla, Sonia Sani. Pretty much, people are actually there to listen to us, Tarun. So let's just get started.
Fantastic. Vicky Yadav, Advait Goyal, and everyone else. Welcome to the world of coding, robotics, tinkering today, and innovating tomorrow. My name is Tarun, and I am the founder of Avishkar. And I have with me in this webinar my friend, my partner in crime, and co founder of Avishkar, Mr. Rajiv Gaba.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks, Tarun, for introduction. Hi, my name is Rajiv. I actually take care of products and technologies at Avishkar. And today, as most of you know, that we are here to talk about the hottest topic these days, which is how to introduce coding in your classrooms. So, Tarun, let's just get going.
Absolutely, Rajiv. I'll be happy to talk in more detail about it. But for everyone else, if you have any questions while we are talking about it, please feel free to ask. Do remember, Rajiv and I know each other for 20 years and we have a lot of coding sharing stories to share. So just make sure that we don't get lost in our own individual world. So you can ask us a lot of questions and keep us on track. Rajiv, I have a question for you. Since the time pandemic started, everyone has been so hell-bent on learning coding as a skill these days. You are a dinosaur of this domain. Can you tell me the reasons of the same? Why this has been happening? Why sudden interest in coding?
Well, it's actually not certain, but yeah, the coding has been put into a too technical box for a very long time. Only some time back, maybe we can also take some credit of it that we started thinking about it and started talking about coding. And then, in fact, now some schools have codings in their classroom as an elective. Or, most of them, then that is not offered at all. So, effectively, our classrooms till now mostly doesn't have any space for regular coding, doesn't have any space for in the regular classroom as such.
Rajiv,
But
what you are
yeah,
saying is coding is possible in a regular classroom. I mean, the
abs-
time I remember was when it was used to be, computers used to be in a lab and nobody was allowed to touch them. And you are saying that coding is possible in a regular classroom as well.
yes, of course. Coding is an asset to any classroom. If I say that, this will not be wrong. Regardless of the subject, for that matter, you can actually code and create patterns in mathematics. You can code and create music. You can code and create even arts and designs also. I mean, at Avishkar, we have been saying this for long, and we have worked with a lot of schools, independent educators, and convey this message to through our products and services for a long time. And in fact, if you look around now, Government of India also has recognized this. They are actually rolling out policies in form of by maybe launching ATLs or including coding, design thinking, artificial intelligence. These are a part of the national education policy that has been recently announced. And I'm very sure that coding is not just for programmers and computer scientists. Coding should actually be seen as a learning method for solving problems, achieving your goals. And in fact, the abstract form of coding is used in pretty much every part of our lives as well.
Rajiv, if I'm right, you are actually referring to algorithms here, right? The abstract form of
Absolutely. Yeah,
coding.
absolutely. Tarun, algorithms, I mean, uh, algorithms are the basic part of coding. You can just start and see, tell us how it actually can be regularized on a regular basis as well.
I'll be happy to do it, but right now is the time when I ask questions from people. In case if they have any questions so far, I'm happy to take. Otherwise, I will dive deeper into the coding part or algorithms part right away. So, Rajiv, do you see any questions coming in?
Let me just see. Yeah, there are question. There is some teacher which is from, I think, Ratnagiri. They are also asking about whether we can actually start by telling coding in the classrooms. In fact, we have a query from a graduate engineer also, he also wants to understand how coding actually can be taught in the classes.
All right. So looks like everyone is excited about us to introduce coding. But before we introduce coding in a classroom, and as we were talking about it, I think we should talk about algorithms. Of course, algorithm is a very interesting concept and is in wide use. An algorithm is a detailed step-by-step instruction set or formula for solving a problem or completing a task. So you show me a task, you show me a job, I will break it down into logical steps, and that breaking down into logical steps and executing it to the complete is essentially nothing but an algorithm. So when you think of an algorithm, it is the most general way, not just in regards to computing. Algorithms are everywhere. A recipe for making food is an algorithm. The method you use to solve addition or long division problems is an algorithm. And even the process of folding a shirt or a pair of pants is an algorithm. No wonder why my wife was asking me to do an algorithm of folding my clothes. Anyways, even one of the things that I have used, and this is a hint or a cue for a lot of teachers out there. When I am in a classroom, I actually use a very interesting problem statement for everyone that I'm going to show to everyone on the screen. I ask all my students to basically write an algorithm for the morning routine, and it will go something like this. So for example, for somebody like me who takes almost 3 alarm snoozes to wake up, my algorithm would start saying when alarm ring occurs, repeat 3 times, hit snooze button. What this means is it will take me 3 snoozes to get up, 3 snoozes before I can get up. Then, of course, turn off alarm, get up, shower, get dressed, and eat breakfast, a lot of it. And in case if the weather is sunny, go and walk to school. Or if the weather is not sunny, then ask your parents to walk to school. So this is a thing that I would ask in any of my classes. Before I start a coding program in the school, I will ask all my students to write an algorithm for this, and they just have a ton of fun, and it is quite motivational for them.
Yeah, I mean, you put it very nicely, Tarun. Let me see if anybody also wants to set out any general problem, day-to-day problem, which they want to put it in algorithm. Any questions? Anything on that?
So Rajiv, I
Audience?
think Vicky Yadav is asking a question where he is asking, can you explain the coding basic part? So for Vicky, I can only say coding comes second. First comes the abstract or the theoretical concept of it, which is essentially writing the logic or the algorithm part of it. I think Rajiv, we can
Yeah,
move forward.
yeah. So I think as you very rightly said that we should actually encourage ourselves as well as our kids to write their morning algorithm, any algorithms. I mean, let them take a problem, divide it into smaller tasks. Smaller tasks could be anything like brushing your teeth, eating your cereal. I mean, without knowing it, they'll actually be exploring important computational concepts like loops, repetition. Like you say, you have to brush your bottom teeth 5 times, right? It's a loop. Sequencing, put cereal in the bowl or put milk, right? And also the important aspect of starting and ending, right? That you have to start eating when your bowl is full, and you have to stop eating when bowl is empty. So pretty much everything can be broken down into algorithms.
Rajiv, fantastic that you actually created this framework for this. When I am teaching in the classrooms, I also use framework, and I try to keep the framework very exciting. And one of my favorite problems for everyone to solve is, can you write an algorithm for making a cup of tea? I use that as an example here. How do you write an algorithm for making a cup of tea? But there are 3 things when I teach programming to children or teach coding to children in a classroom that I want them to be always aware of. The first and foremost is, and as a teacher, I would suggest you should also do that. The first and foremost is start and stop conditions should be well defined. When I am writing an algorithm, it is very important that I mention the start condition of the algorithm and the stop condition of the algorithm. So as an example, for making a cup of tea, the start condition is you should be present in kitchen and you should switch on the stove. The stop condition is you should switch off the stove. So in case if you do not follow the start condition, your tea will never be made because the gas is not switched on. And in case if you forget the stop condition, then your home will be put on fire because you never switched off the stove. So that's first. Start and stop conditions should be well defined. The second thing that I ask all my students to do is be as specific as possible with the instructions. I tell them very clearly. Most of the students think that the computers and machines and robots and whatnot are very intelligent. But honestly speaking, they are dumb machines and we give them the logic. So the second thing is be as specific as possible. So Kevin, going back to my making a tea example, what really happens is when most of the people will write an algorithm, I have asked them to make a cup of tea, they'll say pour water. They've never mentioned how much water. Is it 10 milliliters of water, 100 milliliters of water, or 5,000 liters of water? Nothing is mentioned. So that's the second stumbling block that I tell them to be watching out for. And third one is boundary conditions should be taken care of. So what I really mean by boundary conditions is in a normal cup of tea, it would be that, I want strong tea. So for me, I will always look out at the color of the tea. So if it's a machine, then it has to probably sense either in terms of time, like how long you want to brew the tea, or in terms of the color of the milk or the color of the tree, how long you want to brew it. So those are three things. Again, I will repeat, start and stop conditions should be well defined, be as specific as possible. And third, boundary conditions should be taken care of.
Good job. I mean, Tarun fantastically put it. You can actually everybody on the webinar they can keep dropping their questions. We will actually address them in between or at the end also. So, Tarun, let's take a next step, which is like we have defined algorithm, right? So next thing is putting these algorithms into action, which actually make it a program, right? So and let me just start this by mentioning some of the very interesting programming interfaces that we have for kids right now. I mean,
Rajiv,
number
I
one,
will stop you there. Rajiv, I'll interrupt you there. There's been a question from the audience. What is, Pooja Kumar has asked, what is really a difference between algorithm and flowchart? Maybe if you can talk about that, that will be very useful.
Pooja, so algorithm is actually breaking the problem on a simple and putting it in a sequence. What flowchart does is actually flowchart gives a pictorial representation of your algorithm. So it's actually putting your algorithm into something, a language or a picture where anybody who sees it can actually understand that algorithm.
So Rajiv, what you are trying to say is algorithm is something written in English, and whereas flowchart is a computer language. Any computer scientist will be able to understand it.
Yeah, computer language, but it's also not a very technical language. It's very pictorial language. But yes, it's not only simple English. It's a bit technical from that perspective. Yes.
Fantastic, Rajiv. I think you can go ahead with the explanation of different interfaces.
Yeah. So interfaces wise, as I was talking, one of the important interface that we have, or maybe foremost interfaces that we have is Scratch. Scratch is basically a block-based visual programming language, and they have a website which is anybody can go there, or they can actually download the software Scratch on their machines and do recording. The basic idea of visual programming is to really make kids be interested in coding. I mean, if I go back and talk about my times when I was learning coding, we used to have black and white machines. I mean, the shell Unix machines. Even if you're doing a lot of interesting things, the output will be too gray to actually be excited about. In fact, and actually that put us more into the semantics part of coding. Like we were more worried about the brackets or about the semicolons. But now what we have to teach kids is making that program, right? Making that logic, right? So these visual programming take all that away from you, and they actually give you a very simple way of putting your logic. They can actually create some sprites, play with them, make them jump, make sounds, and in fact, that generates a lot of interest in building logics and computational thinking, where they are actually breaking the problems and solving them in a very fun way. And then we also have a interface Blockly, which kind of we can say is an extension to MIT. MIT mostly was a university effort, but Google took it and they created Blockly. And Blockly basically is more of an extension which actually can be plugged to other softwares, or in fact, it has something from which you can actually generate some code. So machines doesn't run on visual things, right? Machines, the code has to be in binary or 0 1s and all that, right? So Blockly gives interface where actually your visual code is converted into the binary data that actually goes into your machines, or and the Blockly gives you that kind of interface. So and then in fact these are all global initiatives, but at Avishkar we also take a lot of inspiration from those as well as from the environment around us, and we have also created something unique for all children. So you want to talk about it?
I'm happy to talk about it, but I would like to showcase a screen also. Rajiv, I think you're trying to be modest here. I would like to showcase also the kind of interfaces that you and your team have created. So while I do that, I'm just asking for hosting permissions. So there is something that you have created which is specifically for younger audience, right? So I wanted to show that from my screen. And I have the permissions now. So let me get started really quickly. So as everyone can see, this is actually a virtual simulation of a very exciting award-winning product that we have created called Tweak. So this is a very interesting way of teaching coding to a very young student, you know, say a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old child. Here, the idea is there's this beautiful, really cute, good-looking Tweak, which has to always go to his home, which is always pictorially represented by the red flag. I can do that by, and here we have to code here. So Rajiv, while it goes to its home, it also gets a chance to recharge its battery, right? So let me
Yes.
try. And if it has to go to its home, it has to mostly go forward. I'm going to put it 3 times. And then once it goes forward, it has to stop and it reaches home. That is fantastic. So easy to do. Rajiv, I'm all set, right?
No, I think if you see instead of 3, you should put 4, because one block means it will go forward one time, and then but flag is at the 4th block, so you probably have to put 4
So
there.
what you're saying is 1 block, 2nd block, 3rd block, and then
4.
4th block.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the reason you are the smarter one between the two of us. So let me do that. 4, let me play it. It goes 1 step, that's right. 2nd step gets the battery and gets home. And that's
Okay.
level 2, right? So Rajiv,
Yeah.
should I now try coding for this? Maybe
Let me
you and
just
the
let's our audience. I mean, do they want to code this? Now let this tweak reach the flag again. Anybody who wants to try this algo?
So Rajiv, what I'll do is I will still, you know, I'll delete all these parts so that others can also write it now.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it has to go straight for sure. So did the audience say
Yes.
something? How many steps for straight? Anyone say anything?
I'm reading 3, 4,
3.
4, 4. Yeah, I think everybody understood that it has to go 4 step at least forward now.
And
So
then it
maybe
has to
4.
take a left turn.
No. Let me see what audience is saying. Right. Yeah, everybody, audience is pretty intelligent. You know, they are saying
Can you
turn
give me a
right.
name of an audience? Who's the intelligent one?
Pooja answered this.
Okay.
Vishakha answered this. Yeah.
And what next? Should it, so it has gone forward 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, taken a right turn. Then what should it do next? What does the audience say now?
Again, Pooja is saying forward again as 4 step. I mean, perfectly. I mean,
Okay,
people have understood it.
absolutely. And then I should stop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we try it out?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, go forward 1 step, go step 2, energy is got, 2nd, absolutely more energy, and it has reached home. And
Oh,
now the next
wow.
game. No, Rajiv, this is pretty addictive. I know we have a lot to do, so I am not going forward with this. Why don't you, talk about the stuff that you are talking about? By the way, this is something that your team has created and is planning to launch.
Yeah. So this is actually, if you see, this is actually for a very younger audience. I mean, they can actually, as you can see, it's a very fun way of actually breaking the problems and taking next steps to it. But we do have a little advanced version, or maybe a version for older kits, which we call Avishkar Maker Studio or AMS in short form. So AMS is actually again a version of visual programming. At Avishkar, I mean, everybody knows that our aim is to make our kids learn hands-on things, and we really want our kids to see their code really in action on real hardwares as well. And that's where actually we created AMS. It's mostly driven from Blockly and allows our hardware to be programmed in a very fun way. And in fact, we will actually take our audience to different hardwares and the features of AMS at the end of webinar by showing some videos of what we as well as some of our children have actually created. So
this is fantastic. Then Rajiv, I saw a question that one of the audience had asked how to download Avishkar Maker Studio. So here I would just like to, share my screen again and show them how it is possible. So I'm just trying to share my screen. I think I am there now. Where am I? Where am I? I'm lost somewhere. Yes. So I wanted to show everyone, this is one place where you could actually download the Avishkar Maker Studio. The location is avishkar.cc/softwares/Maker Studio. Here you can download Avishkar Maker Studio for Mac as well as for Windows. And it's a lot of fun. I think close to 50,000 students are already using, or 50,000 users are already using the Avishkar Maker Studio. But we have another interesting version, which is the web version. That's right, Rajiv. This is how it looks in the web. I know you have a better version on your system and you will showcase to everyone, but this is what I have. So let me just very quickly, for the uninitiated audience, talk about what are the different aspects of Avishkar Maker Studio. How can they use to teach coding in a classroom using Avishkar Maker Studio? Of course, you need to go to avishkar.cc/AMS. You need to create your username and password. Once you have done that, it's a free of cost software, so you don't need to pay anything to get registered. You just do that, ask all your students to do that in the classroom and ask them to make their very first program. But before I go there, let me just show you the different interfaces or different aspects of the AMS. First and the topmost being is the hamburger menu that you see on the top left-hand side of the screen. Here you can see that all menu options are there: new, open, save as. You can switch modes. If you're programming the hardware, then you can choose what hardware you want to program, and you can also give it themes. My daughter's favorite theme is bubblegum pink, but I kind of like night black, so I'm gonna stick to night black. And then, so that's the hamburger menu. Here you can write down the name of the project, save it, compile, simulate. On the bottom side, you would see all different contexts, whether it is control, loops, math, text, and all the way to hardware. And on the right-hand side, you will see the code being generated. So the code is generated over here. Let's write a very difficult program, but everyone's first delight in terms of the program that they write, and that is hello world. So for that to happen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to control context, take out this block called my program. Within display, I will get the show scrolling text, which says hello right now. But what I would say is hello world. That's my first program. I feel like, back in the day when I wrote my first program, but red is my favorite color. So I will choose red as a brick red as a color, and brightness, the maximum, which is 100. And since that is done, let me try simulate it. Instead of burning it to a hardware, I'm simulating it now. So Rajiv, should I play it?
Yeah, sure.
And there you go. HEL.
Wow, Tarun, really difficult program, right? Tough program, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
what can I say?
Yeah, jokes apart, but I mean, from visual programming perspective, it looks to be easy. But for any language, if any programmer has to learn, Hello World is a gateway to that language. So it is one of the first program that anybody writes while learning for the program. So Tarun, thank you very much for this. Let me just go forward and introduce another concept of programming. For that, I would like my screen to be shared. Let me just do that. Okay, here it is. Okay, so Do you see my screen?
Yes, I do, and it looks like a fantastic, a better screen than mine. Looks like you're working on a newer version of
Uh,
AMS.
yes, yes,
Can
we
you
are.
can you just also talk about the different, what all goes there, just in
Uh,
terms of what is there in the interface?
Yeah, sure, Tarun. So idea of this interface was that we should give more space for writing code. I mean, you can see that there is the slate is clean. Although the features remain same and the same hamburger menu, project name, compile. In fact, we are introducing a share where actually users will be able to share their program with other users. Again, the maker board options where you can actually select your products. So that is
That's pretty
coming
cool.
very at the and then one more thing that we really wanted to attempt with this was going forward. We have our products where kids will be able to actually do some text coding also, right? So we have a code mode also where they will be able to write the actual code instead of blocks. So this is a work in progress, and very soon user will be able to use this on their online version of it. So getting to the problem, right? So we'll just start with where actually Tarun left, and let me just introduce you to the concept of code. So again, so we'll start with my program. As Tarun said, basically this is the construct. Every program has to be within this block. And now let me just see, or let's just try to do maybe show some numbers, right? So I've got a block for it. I'll say, let me print some numbers again with Tarun's favorite color, red, and brightness of 100. And maybe what I want to do is I want to write numbers in sequence, maybe 5 numbers in sequence. So let me, I'll put some delay also, because if when you are reading in sequence, you actually would like to definitely see that number for some time. So I'll put a delay and then probably maybe duplicate it. What do you think? It is a good way. Uh, Maybe a good way.
Rajiv,
Yeah, I know. I mean, up to 5 is fine, but if somebody has to at least to do it maybe 10 times or 20 times, 60 times, it will become cumbersome, right? So here come the loop section, right? So let me just introduce you with a count loop. In most of the programming language, it is also called a for loop. So you can see that it has some parameters. One is the variable I. So loop starts with this variable, assigning this the initial value, which is from 1. So it assigns the first value as 1. Then it increments it by this 1 again, and then and then what it does is it goes inside the loop, executes it, comes back again, checks, increments the I by 1, and checks whether it has reached 10 or not. So this 10 can be increased to any number. And if I put all these blocks here and maybe remove these things, uh, so so you see the I will be changing from 1 to 10, and it will be going inside and printing 1. No, but we want to print I, right? So I is a variable. Let me just change that 1 with a variable I, right?
that's
So
right.
now, so now if you can see that now variable is changing by the count loop, and then we are printing that variable itself. So this should work. But one of the things that we need to take care in this is actually variables need some memory space, so they need to be declared before they are used. So I'll do one thing. I'll just declare this I variable. So I have declared a variable. I started a loop and assigning some numbers to it, and then seeing whether that prints or not. So let me just play this and see what happens. So 1, 2, 3. Wow. I mean, so with these 4 blocks, we actually created a first program with loops. You know how easy it is to teach the concept of loop using AM as such.
That really is fantastic, Rajiv. But honestly speaking, if you think this is complex, why don't you let me share my screen and I'll show you?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
You have to stop sharing your screen, Rajiv.
Yeah, let me just do that. I was doing it. Somehow. Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. So let me now share my screen. And as you can see on my screen, I have actually written down a program already. It's present here. I am so all the programs on Avishkar Maker Studio are saved on the cloud. So that means I can either save the programs on my local system or I can open it from the cloud. So 1 second. Let me log in into Avishkar AMS again for my own usage. Okay, you say something went wrong. Open the program. Oops, looks like Rajiv, something is not working out right in my system. I really wanted to show everyone, a Space Invader game that I had created, but looks like that is, let me try once more. If it doesn't work this time, then yeah, I think I can probably use something from my system. Space Invader, yeah. I had saved one copy on my own system, so I'll be able to use it. Oops.
Some problem.
Looks like something is not working on my local system. So Rajiv, we can probably move forward, and why don't you tell me a little bit about this is one way that you mentioned where we can write programs, write coding, which the programs which can work on a computer screen. But is there anything else? I mean, sometimes with older kids it's fine. When we are talking about grade 6 to 9 kids and above, maybe it works out fine that we have a screen in front of them. But do we have something which is very exciting for children to hold their hands, hold in their hands, feel about it, talk about it, and show it to their friends? Do we have something like that we can utilize in a classroom environment, or is it just only computer screen and the programs written on it?
No, Tarun, actually, Avishkar is actually known for making incredible hardwares, and we can actually embed a lot of software into that and see the actual product, actual software in action in their hands. So we can actually show you some projects, electronics projects on our maker board. Let me just put out a video for that.
That looks exciting. Rajiv, that was a very fantastic, fun way of teaching coding and actually demonstrating it in a classroom. But it seemed a little bit complicated to me. I am wondering if we have something for young kids as well, by any chance?
Yes, Tarun. In fact, we have a pretty fantastic product for young kids, and it's basically it has won a lot of awards. And very recently, we have been assigned a design mark also for that. India Design Mark, which is a very prestigious award as such. We call that product week, and it's very popular among young children. Let me just show you some videos on that product also.
Rajiv, that was really interesting, I must say. I mean, in terms of children as young as 5, 6, 7 years old, being able to put different blocks together and program them. And it's, to me, that's basically tweaking their future, not just a name of the product. So, but Rajiv, when I was growing up, for me, robotics always was this mean metal sets, dangling wires, humongous motors, big power sources. Do you have something in that range as well to teach coding in a classroom?
Well, that's our niche, Tarun. I mean, we have our E-series product series where we have a lot of metal parts, all the things that you talked about, motors, wires, sensors. And so let me just show you some videos from our one of the most sold kit on Amazon, the E-series full. Let me just put those videos for you and for everybody. So how do you like it, Tarun?
That was fantastic. I know something really exciting is also still brewing inside our bakery, as they say, and we'll have something more exciting coming as the next step for E-Series Full. But enough
Yes,
about
definitely.
our products. So now I would like to address to all the educators and innovators who are attending our programs. See, we talked about, just to go back, we talked about the idea of how do you introduce robotics or how do you introduce coding to a classroom. First is you basically go as abstract and as simple as algorithms, maybe then talk about flowcharts, then take some coding interfaces, whether it is Scratch or MIT App Inventor or Blockly or even Avishkar Maker Studio. And then, in order to make it very exciting for the classroom, you can take the help of additional products or physical products with which you can actually put all the coding that you teach in a classroom to actual action. And believe me, it makes it a lot of fun for the participants. And then get them to participate in our Avishkar League or IRC League or various kind of competitions which are out there. I'm hoping each and every one of you had a great session today and you were able to learn something new. I would encourage you to start your account on Avishkar Maker Studio. It's very simple. Just go to avishkar.cc/AMS. You will have multiple simulation options there. And now I and Rajiv will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. And we can, in which way we can make your journey as a teacher easier and much more fulfilling in as far as teaching coding and technologies is concerned.
So Tarun, I think we already are having some questions on this. So one of the actually important question which has come from Winit, they have written this Winit. So he's asking that coding at some places starts from 6 and some schools they are starting it from 3. So what do you think is the right age for this? You want to take this?
Absolutely, more than happy to answer this question. See, I think coding is now as fundamental a skill as far as reading, writing, and mathematics is concerned. So, like you would like to teach a very young kid about reading, you would like to teach a very young kid about writing, you would like to teach a young kid about mathematics or solving problems, or rather solving mathematical problems. Coding has now come to that level of existence, which is the same plane. So, let's not think of coding as just one skill that you use to become rich. Rather, it is a way of thinking. What is coding or what is writing algorithms? It is to break down a complex problem into smaller subsets and then solve each subset and then before you go to the final solution. So at different age groups, this skill is called different things, and this skill is required also. For example, for very young children, which is 5 or 6 or maybe 4 years old, the skill is called sequencing. And at other age groups, it would be called analytical thinking or critical thinking. So the only suggestion I have is you can start teaching coding to 5 or 6 year olds as well. Choose the right apparatus. I mean, you cannot teach a C language program or a Java language program to a 5 year old. They will see, they will find it very abstract, they will lose interest, and you will not gain anything out of it. Rather, what I would do as a teacher is I would get the age appropriate aspect of coding figured out. So for instance, for a 5 year old, tweak is a toy first. It's a play and learn thing first. Only later it becomes a coding thing. So important aspect I would want we need to to remember always when they're teaching coding at different age groups is choose the medium correct, because coding as per is fantastic. It's a great skill to have. One should not be worried about it, but one should be concerned about what is the method or what is the tool that you are using.
Yeah, Tarun, absolutely. I think I'll just add to it that, in fact, Tweak, as we earlier talked about, this one of our award-winning product, and we do have a tangible interface to it. So they don't actually have to hook onto screen to actually write a program or put their thinking into an action. So they can actually have some cards. They can scan those cards, and all that program Tweak, the robot will actually follow those instructions. So you rightly said that right apparatus, right time, will actually make coding fun for kids, and it will really help them grow. So, okay, there is one question
Rajiv,
that to me. Let me just see that. He's asking, they have a desktop version of AMS asked to sign up. What is benefit? Oh, okay. So AMS desktop version is sign up as we have online also, right? So what we are working on now is we are trying to make things available everywhere. I mean, we want to put your code on cloud, so that if suppose you are writing a program in your school, right, and but your period got over or you couldn't complete it, you can come back home and continue it from where you left it. So with this kind of login service, we can actually save your last saved program, and you can resume working upon it on any other machine or at any other place also. So that was the benefit that we wanted to give to our kids for programming.
that is fantastic, Rajiv. I have seen another question. Uh, Chandrasekhar Kushwaha is asking, is simulator available for ESeries full? I would say wait for some time. We will answer that question. But simulator right now is available for MakerBoard, and what is in works is simulator for Tweak. For ESeries full, I think you have to wait for the Avishkar League problem statements to come, and you will have your answer. Rajiv, there is another question that is specifically, I think you can also ask is, or rather you can answer is, um,
So
can we get some hands-on videos or Avishkar kits for our students? Namita Chaudhary ma'am is asking that question.
yes, I mean, in fact, our kit now, all our kits actually come with a course attached to it, and that course, as well as we have a very flourishing YouTube channel where not only our users, we also put a lot of stuff there, but we have very intelligent audience. They actually put a lot of video. They're very hands-on. They actually tell you step by step of creating your bots, creating programs. So you just need to go to YouTube/Avishkar, subscribe to our channel, and you will keep notified on what is coming next on this. And we have a lot of videos there which you can actually right now also use and make kids learn programming as well as robotics.
So Rajiv, can I also add to this that, it's not only the YouTube videos where you can find the programs available, but you can go to avishkar.cc/courses and you will see a lot of courses there available as well. And in case if you actually have a kit available, then you will be able to use that kit to register your product. And once you register, then you will get quite a few free projects from the platform also.
Okay, wait, there is another question. We need mobile app as students don't. Okay, So the question is related to mobile apps for some of the products. Uh, yes. So mobile apps, as we said, I mean, we are working on adding some tangible interfaces to our products. Tweak is already in works, and probably that could be extended to other products as well. So we will be able to answer those questions or address those issues very soon on our products as also.
Rajiv, next
Uh,
question is a very interesting one. It is by Savita Hulmani. She says, can we use this coding for mathematics for primary school children?
Yes, I mean, so I actually shown you AMS interface. We have a full-fledged math block in that. So you can actually, so all the basic concepts from addition, multiplication to modulars and all the binary stuff. So all that can also be taught from AMS also. So mathematics, as I said, everything. Mathematics is also a way of, if you have to work on mathematics, you actually have to, what you have to do is you have to break the problem into smaller things, resolve those parts, and then reach the end solution. The similar way coding works. So if you see the basic concept of computational thinking, it applies to both mathematics as well as coding.
Yeah, I remember, Rajiv, I had solved the Fibonacci sequence, the sorting,
Yeah.
binary sorting programs, and they are, just fantastic way of teaching mathematics. So I am not sure
Yes.
if a 6-year-old would be able to solve the Fibonacci sequence, but if you have a very hyperactive 10-year-old in the classroom, or if you have a hyperactive 11-year-old in your houses, you can ask them to write the Fibonacci sequence. And Fibonacci sequence is very simple. It's like, the first two numbers and the third number is a sum of first two numbers. So example is 1, 1, 2, then 3, then 5, then 8, then 13, and so on and so forth. So can you write a logic by which you can actually make those appear on the MakerBoard screen? So I've always enjoyed that. Rajiv, I see some other questions also. So there is Manisha Harjai. She's asking, please tell that IoT Starter Kit is more useful or MakerBoard Premium.
So, in fact, there's not much difference into it, but we are actually, uh, we will say that IoT Starter Kit is something which we have recently launched, and it is a very well-researched product wherein we are actually making students learn about the concept of Internet of Things with, so the sensors, they can actually create some product, some their own products which they can control from the internet. So ideally, I mean, look at it from the contents perspective. Some of the sensors would be different, but IoT is more research product, and in fact, so you can go for IoT if you are actually choosing between these two.
That is a good suggestion, Rajiv. There is Mr. Gaurav Shandilya. He has asked a question. I wanted to ask you, when we make a project and when we send you, can you upload on your website? Absolutely, Gaurav. I know the feature of uploading projects on the website under the projects tab is still work in progress. But what you can do is write an email with your, so upload the project. If it's a video, upload it to YouTube and send us the link of YouTube video to support@avashkar.cc. And once we receive at support@avashkar.cc, we will definitely use that as an entry for Maker of the Month. And we will definitely use it as a way to promote your creation to everyone else, so that others can also see, how big of an Avishkari you are.
Yes, we have a lot of Avishkaris for that matter. And then
Absolutely.
yeah, so we keep getting these videos, so feel free to do that.
Rajiv, I know we have, so it's already 4:51, so that means 9 minutes are still pending. I would like us to take two more questions, and before, we kind of talk about our community effort. So there is a question from Manisha Harjai, who says, I already have a MakerBoard Premium kit, so what can I do?
Okay, so I mean, as I said, there is the content-wise, there is not much difference. You can still follow most of the projects with IoT. There could be some difference in sensors. You can actually ask for them separately also. You can buy them online, or you can actually contact us and we can give you those sensors so that you can actually create some more challenging projects from that also.
Rajiv, I have, couple of questions of my own. You are the product manager, you decides what goes into the products and not. So when can we actually expect that the Avishkar Maker Studio will be able to program Arduino, or the Arduino interface also being able to program Avishkar products?
Tarun, I'll say it's in works. In fact, we got some success also. In fact, let me give you a brief story also about this. In fact, we had one student from our ecosystem itself. So he got into Georgia Tech. He's doing engineering from there. He came back and approached us. He wanted to do an internship with us. So he worked with us for around a month, and he actually gave us a project where actually from AMS you can actually program Arduino also. So we have actually started working on it, and we are seeing to how to basically interface it with our existing interfaces, existing way of doing things. Pretty soon, I mean, let me tell you, it's in works, and very soon you'll be able to see that.
बहुत बढ़िया, उम्दा, धन्यवाद राजीव। मेरे पास अब आप पूछना चाहेंगे कि मैं हिंदी में क्यों आगे आऊं, क्योंकि मेरे पास अब एक प्रश्न पूरा हिंदी में आया है। मास्टर जी, इसकी हिंदी विषय में क्या उपयोगिता है? सरिता भाटिया जी ने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा है मुझसे। ये प्रश्न सरिता भाटिया जी ने पूछा है। मुझे डर लग रहा है कि कहीं मेरे कान ना पकड़े ले जाएं कि आप अंग्रेजी में ही क्यों बात कर रहे हैं।
Yeah, actually, so मैं सिर्फ इतना कहूँगा कि प्रोग्रामिंग और कोडिंग जो हम बात कर रहे हैं आज, कोडिंग की वजह से ये पॉसिबल है कि आज आपकी डिवाइसेस जो हैं वो ट्रांसलेट कर पाती हैं आपकी। आई मीन मैं आपको बताता हूँ, मैं चाइना गया था पिछले लास्ट ईयर, तो वहाँ सबके पास एक छोटी छोटी डिवाइसेस थी जो क्या करती थी, अब आपको इंग्लिश में सुनती थी और उसको चाइनीज़ वर्जन सुनाती थी, राइट। वो क्या है, वो भी बेसिकली आपको कोड करना सिखाया है। सो कोडिंग ने वो पॉसिबल किया है। तो मैं जैसे हमने पहले कहा कि कोडिंग का इस्तेमाल जो है वो कहीं पे भी हो सकता है। मे बी इट्स अ लैंग्वेज लर्निंग, इट्स अ म्यूजिक लर्निंग, इट्स अ आर्ट्स लर्निंग, और सम वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स सॉफ्टवेयर दैट वी वांट टू वर्क on.
So what you are saying is that it is an application in every aspect of our lives.
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. So I would only ask you one more question, one last question now. Is there, and that's a question you can choose not to answer as well, are we on brink of launching some new products or new things within Avishkar?
Yes, I mean, we are working on a lot of interesting things. As I said, we get a lot of feedback from our children, from our teachers, from schools, and we continue to work on them. One of the product we are launching is by end of this month itself. I mean, we are having another webinar by end of this month, and we will surely show you one of our new creation. And again, as we already discussed, we are working on Quick Tangible. We are working on some twist to our ESeries. We are calling it ESeries. We are bringing very fantastic metal parts in that. We are working on improvising on our brains as such. So a lot of work is going on there.
Fantastic, Rajiv. One last question, and this is, since there were so many questions, I want to make sure that everyone is answered. So the last question that we have is from Vejanti Pethe, if I'm, pronouncing her name correctly. Can we create different costumes of sprites like Scratch and MakerBoard?
Sprites, I mean, Sprite is, in MakerBoard, the Sprite is more of a dot. But yes, in Scratch, you can definitely create. We are, as we just said, we are working on more simulations in our Maker Studio. So we will actually look into this option as well, where you can actually create some costumes. But yes, on Scratch, you can definitely create costumes for your sprites.
I think, thank you, Rajiv, for your time, and thanks for talking about what is in store for us, in the times to come. And there are teachers who are actually thanking us for excellent Avishkar online coding session, DVM, Dalmayapuram from Tamil Nadu. So we have people from all parts of the country and outside of India as well. But what I would like to also talk about is, these interactions of teachers talking to each other, or we as creators of these products and solutions, basically connecting with you and talking about what's there on our mind. this is not something that should happen once in a month. This is something that should be a continuous dialogue, because we will be able to create better solutions for you only when we are in constant touch with each other. And in these times of pandemic, that is always a challenge, but there are better ways of doing it virtually. So for instance, we have a community called Avishkar for Educators on Facebook, where you can just be a part of it, ask different questions, share resources, learn from each other, and teach to each other. I don't know of a better way of learning or teaching than sharing. So, sharing is the best way of either learning about a new concept or even teaching a new concept. And then we also have a community called Avishkar, or Let's Avishkar, which is essentially for any maker, whether it is a school student or a teacher or somebody who's going to an engineering college, or young people as well who have created something. They wanted to showcase it. You can showcase it, and why you should do it is because you end up getting a certificate of maker of the month, and you also get some prizes around with it. So I will write down the link in the description of this video. It will be available in the description of this video. And we have had a fantastic time from all of you today. We believe that very sincerely that learning is sharing, or learning is augmented by sharing. So we will continue to have these webinars, whether it is for students or for teachers or for thinkers, at different points of time in the month, in the year, in the times to come. And we hope that you keep yourself busy with those learnings and keep on contributing to our learning as well. And most importantly, during this time of pandemic, stay indoors, stay safe, stay healthy. And with that, thank you very much. I'm sure I speak for Rajiv also when I say, good luck and do amazing things in life on this journey of creating, innovating, tinkering today and innovating tomorrow.
Yeah, Tarun, thank you very much. And also, let me talk about Manisha Harjai. She's saying she has created a game on Scratch. Robotics with J, he also said they have created games in Scratch. So you can see that there are a lot of people who are working or using coding. So let's keep learning them. Thank you very much for being joining this. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.